going to start a chapter from class 10 supplementary book, that is Footprints Without Feet, which is prescribed both for CBSC and SEBA. The name of the chapter is Footprints Without Feet and the book is also Footprints Without Feet. Science is both boon and curse. If it is used for betterment of the society, it is boon. It is blessings. However, it can be also a curse if it is used for wrong purpose. Here, the main character of our story is also a scientist who is a brilliant scientist. Let's see whether he used his inventions for betterment of society or for his own benefit. Now let us, before going to start the chapter, let us know something about our author, H.G. Wells. Herbert George Wells, better known as H.G. Wells, was a renowned British author. He is known for his science fiction genre. He has written books like The Time Machine, The War of the Worlds, The Invisible Man, etc. He is known as the father of science fiction. First, let me give some word meanings of first 4 paragraphs. Imprints means impression. Bare means naked. Barefooted means without any shoes or slippers. Gaze means look intently. Fascinated means very much attracted. Mystery means difficult to understand. Bewildered means puzzled or confused. 2 boys started in surprise at fresh muddy imprints of a pair of bare feet. Who was barefooted man doing on steps of a house in the middle of London, and where was the man? As they gazed, a remarkable sight met their eyes. A fresh footmark appeared from nowhere. Further, footprints followed one after another, descending the stairs and progressing down the streets. The boys followed, fascinated, until the muddy impressions became fainter and fainter and at last disappeared altogether. The explanation of the mystery was really simple enough. The bewildered boy had been following a scientist who had just discovered how to make human body transparent. So in the beginning, we noticed 2 boys who are following some footsteps. They have seen the footprints proceeding, but could not see anyone who is making the impression or the footprints. However, they stopped at one point as the footprints became fainter and at last disappeared. The author makes the explanation clear before the reader that these 2 boys had been following a scientist who has discovered how to make himself invisible. Now from paragraph 5th and 6th, we have some difficult words like rare means exotic, brilliant means splendid, exact means to throw out, wanderer means those who doesn't have any house, lawless means who does not obey law. Griffin made many scientific experiments. Experiments regarding what? It's about how to make someone invisible by swallowing some rare drugs. He was a brilliant scientist. He was a splendid scientist. He was very intelligent scientist and was successful too in doing so. However, he was not a man of principles. He did not hesitate to do what is wrong in the eyes of law. The first instance of his lawlessness is found as he set fire to his landlord's house because he tried to throw him out from his house, which was given to him as rent. As he was chased, he swallowed the rare drug, removed his clothes, became totally invisible, and went until he stepped feet in mud where his footsteps become clear. And this was the incident which is referred to in the beginning, as the boys are following the footprints of this scientist who is escaping as he set fire to the landlord's house and people are chasing, and these 2 boys are part of the crowd. In 7th and 8th paragraph, we get the words adventure. Adventure means unusual and exciting experience. Then bitterly means extremely, and brim means edge. So here we are told that Griffin could not tolerate the cold night atmosphere of the winter season. He was roaming without any clothes because he was escaping from these people, and if he wears some clothes he will be seen. So he decided to go to a big London store to get some outfits or clothes to keep himself warm. It is closing time, and Griffin was able to open the boxes and wrappers and find his own choiceable clothes. He selected shoes, overcoat, and a wide hat. Then he sought food in the kitchen. He found cold meat and coffee there. He also went to the grocery there. Then he get some meal, sweet and wine. Finally, he slept there on a pile of quilts. Paragraph 9, we get two difficult words. Panic means get scared and nervous, and chase means to run after. So in the earlier paragraph, we have got that he was sleeping. After taking meal, he went for sleep on a pile of quilts. Unfortunately, in this paragraph we have got he did not get up early in the morning. The assistant find him in the morning sleeping there. Griffin was awakened, and now he was very scared and nervous because he has stolen everything and he has intruded into the shop. Ultimately, he was found to remove his he had to remove his clothes and roam once again in the chill weather without any clothes. In paragraph 10 and 11, you will get some difficult words like space above his shoulders. This means face and hand. Then callously. Callously means insensitive and cruel disregard for others. Another word is Drury Lane. Drury Lane is a street in London where you will get lot of shops related to theatrical companies. We will get lot of costumes which is used in theater. So this is known as the center of theater world. Drury Lane is known as center of theater world. Let's come back to paragraph 10 and 11. So this time he wanted to try some outfits from a theatrical company. He wanted something to cover his face so that no one can recognize him. Space above his shoulders means face and head. So he wanted to cover his face and head so that no one can recognize him. With that intention, he went to Drury Lane. Drury Lane is a part of London which is full of theatrical shops. So in fact, it is known as center of the theatre world. So he knew that he will get his clothes there. He went upstairs and came down wearing bandages round his forehead, dark glasses, false nose, big bushy whiskers, and a large hat. He came in a hurry because he was escaping, and cruelly attacked a shopkeeper from behind and robbed him of all his money. Start part 2, paragraph 1st and 2nd. So Griffin knew that London was no longer a safe place for him. So he decided to go to a village, namely Epping. Epping is a village in London. By boarding a train, he booked a room in an inn. Now inn, what does it mean? Inn is similar to a guest house where one can stay for a shorter period of time, and the landlord also resides there, giving comforts to the paying guest. Generally, people don't come to stay in the inn during this cold season. So when Griffin came, people were talking. Wagging means talking. The landlord's wife, Mrs. Hall, was very happy and she tried to be friendly with Griffin. However, Griffin frankly asked for solitude, giving reasons that he was affected by an accident. Paragraph 3. Mrs. Hall was satisfied as she got the money in advance and thought that her guest was an eccentric means strange scientist. She tolerated his rude behavior also. But Griffin could not provide the rent further because it was wasted in no time. He had to pay for his food also. So it was wasted because it was stolen money. He pretended means what? Pretended means acted falsely, that he would get a check from someone. but whom he was expecting the check. It was a lie. Now I will explain some paragraphs together because they have resemblance, they have similarities. So paragraph 4 to 7 tells about a strange incident. What is the incident? Let us see. A strange incident that occurred after the arrival of the scientist. Even early morning, the clergyman and his wife was awakened from their sleep as they heard some noises in the table, and then the money was missing from there. He took a poker. Poker means a rod used for stirring fire. So the clergyman wanted to hit the thief with that rod, with that poker. He shouted, "Surrender." However, they did not find anyone, even if they searched meticulously. But the housekeeping money was missing from the table. Housekeeping money means money that is kept for the maintenance of the house. The clergyman found the incident extremely extraordinary, and he told about it the whole day. Now let's see from paragraph 8 to 13. The missing of the money was not the only extraordinary thing. Again, next morning, Mrs. Hall found another extraordinary thing happening. But she and her husband got an opportunity to investigate. Investigate means find out the truth, as they found Griffin's room wide open. Another day, what happened? He used to close his door, and they hardly get a chance. And he also get very irritated, very angry, very furious when someone tries to disturb him in his room. Now they found the bedclothes cold. What does it mean? It means Griffin has left his bed much earlier. Strangely, they found all his props. Props means bandages, cloths, etc. lying on the bed. As they were investigating, Mrs. Hall heard a sniff. Sniff means some breath of someone else close to her ear. Suddenly, the bedpost rose up and struck or hit against her face. It seemed that the chair was moving itself. Both of them means the landlord and the landlady. Both of them hurriedly went out of the room in fear and found the door locked behind them by some invisible force. Mrs. Hall almost fell down unconscious. She found as the room was haunted by some spirits or ghosts. She moaned. Moan means sad. She sadly said that the chair which was used by her mother is now aiming to hit her. That means her own furnitures are going to hit her. She was very sad for that. Even the neighbors who came to know about the incident, they thought that it was caused by some witchcraft. The more important thing, however, was the stolen money rather than the ghost or witchcraft. So they called the constable. They suspected that Griffin had a hand in it since he had no money to pay the rent. Now let's see from paragraph 14 to 17. So here we find Mrs. Hall went to see the scientist again. She could not wait till the constable's arrival. They have already called for the constable, but she could not wait for it. She changed paragraph 14 to 17. Here we find Mrs. Hall went to see the scientist once again. She could not wait for the constable's arrival. Although they asked the constable to come, she could not wait. She charged the scientist directly about the rising chair. Now Griffin was very quick-tempered. You know that if somebody charges him, he will do some mischief, some wrong to that person. As you have seen in the beginning, he set fire to the landlord's house. So this time also he became very angry. And what did he do? He could not tolerate. And now instead of answering the questions, he decided to reveal his identity by throwing out the props such as whiskers, spectacles, nose, etc. Now people became very horrified to see a headless man because Griffin is now invisible. Paragraph 18 to 21. So we will end up here in this paragraph. So here we find Mr. Jaffer, who is the constable. He was rather a strong and determined person. He decided to obey the magistrate order, although he did not find a man with a head. So it was difficult for him to arrest a headless man, but he was determined that he would do it anyhow. As he tried to catch Griffin, the scientist became more and more invisible. How he can become invisible? By removing his clothes one after another. Garments means clothes here. As he became completely invisible, even though all people tried to catch him together, it was of no effect. They were hit by an invisible force. So it was Griffin who was hitting everyone. So he was invisible. Nobody could see him. At the end, the constable Jeffers was knocked unconscious by Griffin. Everyone were shouting to hold Griffin, but did not know how and where to hold their hands in order to catch that invisible man. So here our story ends.